Rank and station are irrelevant. Results are what matters. Welcome to the Red to Black podcast with your hosts Warner and Mario. Mario, you came up with this one. Go for it.
Yeah, fall of 1968, two Glen Martinezes. So two soldiers in Vietnam get blown up. Both their names are Glen Martinez, okay? One is from Louisiana, one is from somewhere else. One goes to Okinawa, one goes to Hawaii. Glen Martinez goes to Hawaii. They go to his parents' house. They say, your son didn't make it. He was blown up in Vietnam. He was a radio operator, didn't make it. Dad gets a check from the U.S. Army for $60,000, buys a farm next to his old house, and pays off his Glen Martinez's sister's student loans. About 3 weeks later, the Army comes back to his house and say, sir, apologies, your son is actually fine. He's going to make it. He's in Hawaii on convalescent leave. He got blown up, but he didn't die. There was another Glen Martinez that went to Okinawa, Japan. We matched up the names. We're going to need that $60,000 back. Dad says, sorry, I spent it. Glen Martinez, Lance Corporal Glen Martinez, United States Marine Corps, calls his dad and says, hey, Pops, I'm fine. I'm going to make it. I'm in Hawaii. And he says, I knew it was too good to be true. Okay, Glen Martinez is staring in a hospital bed. It's called there's an Army base there with a big hospital called Tripler. He's staring up in the mountains of Oahu and saying, someday I'm going to come back here. This is beautiful. Goes back to Maine side, gets out of the Army, goes to night school to become an electrician, moves back to Oahu, and in 30 years he becomes the largest electrical contractor on this island of Oahu. He buys a farm in Waimanolo, and he has a sailboat at the Kaneohe Yacht Club, and he sails every August. He sails around the entire Hawaiian Islands with him and his lady friend. Glen Martinez was a Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps in 1968. Okay, zero. I mean, it's nothing. Rank and station don't matter. Your rank in life and your station don't matter. Results are what matter. What do you say, Warner?
Yeah, so let's define what results are. Results, in terms of what Mario's talking about, is business. And that means numbers, and that means making money. That's at the core, that's what it is. You may have an emotional reaction to whether you like money or you don't like money, but at the end of the day, all money is a metric. And as I talked about in one of my as we've talked about in one of our podcasts before, and an article I wrote, value is created, or money is a store of value, and you create that value through effort, labor over time, creating a product or a service. So why is Mario talking about like a Lance Corporal? Or it's sort of a parallel to a lot of these guys that have developed these great companies. They dropped out of high school or they dropped out of college because they saw that the results of those institutions weren't concurrent with getting on the ground, working, building your empire. So no matter where you are in life, you can start. The moral of this story is you can start from zero, and through action where you build cash flow, you create value, some sort of value with a product or service, which could be yourself offering labor. You create value, you get money for that value, you save that money, you invest in a farm, or you invest in electrical contracting service, or whatever your passion is, you invest. And over the long term, you'll do well because you're continually building your value up, up, up. And that's what Mario's pointing to. It's really simple. Just determine how you can create value, determine how you get paid for that value, save that value, invest that value in other companies that pay you to own them, and do that over and over again. You'll have multiple silos of wealth. And also, let's also say that the land he's on doesn't really pay him, but it pays him in value, like in terms of food he grows on that land, in terms of a workshop where he's enabled to fix things, or a car or a yacht. That provides a different type of value. That provides a value to live and sustain yourself. So I think that's where you're going with that, Mario. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Warner, you've been to Uncle Glen Martinez's ranch, farm, compound, metal workshop. I mean, he looks like there's a CIA operation going on. And the reality is, if he sold that farm off to a developer, it's worth somewhere 20 to $50 million. That's how much property he owns in Waimanolo. Another gentleman named Larry was homeless. He was literally living in his car 30 or 40 years ago. He was a homeless man. Now he's the king of Lanai. Okay, so your grade and station where you start off in life is irrelevant. It's where you end up. It's the results you get from hard work that matters. Where you came from, where you went to school, what your last name is, what the color of your skin is, does not matter. It's irrelevant. It's your results that matter.
Yeah, and what this points to, so we're talking about mindset right now, which is getting over the fact that you have to have a pedigree or a certain background or a certain, I don't know, lifestyle that you grew up in to propel you to the next level. What Mario's point to is is performance. So how do you create that performance? Well, you start off by taking your word or your vision in your mind for what you want to create, and then you create some measurable results, which are numbers. So say, for example, you're starting at 0. You got zeroed out. Well, let's say when you're in a really emergent, like chaotic environment, you don't want to go long-term out. You don't want to go like 2, 5, 6, a year out, right? In terms of your measurable results, you want to go a week. Okay, this week, I'm going to put food on the table and I'm going to get shelter. Next week, I'm going to get a job. When you get everything stabilized and you're feeling good, then go a month out. When you get stabilized there, then go 3 months out. This is the same for a startup. Start off with Mario and I start off doing this. Do a week till you get it right, because it's going to change a lot. Then the next week, then the next week. So the key is just setting measurable results. Like, I'm going to get food on the table. I'm going to make a certain amount of money this week. And then I'm going to take actions. What are those actions I'm taking this week to do that? And that's how you succeed. It's just literally creating a measurable result and then taking actions, and you're either effective at that action or you aren't. That's how you put like this idea of what Mario's talking about on paper, in action, in the real world. Thank you for listening to this podcast. We invite you to get to know us by clicking on our LinkedIn profiles in the description of this video. Please subscribe, hit the bell notification for future updates, and share this content with your networks. Thank you for your valuable time and insights. We greatly appreciate it.